Hello, I'm Deborah Pascali Benaro of Orgasmic Birth, here to support you to positively prepare for birth and parenting. And today I'm honored to introduce you to Hannah. She's a mom of four, a birth and a postpartum doula, and adores all things birth. And she's joining us today to share some insights about her birth story so that you can take ownership of your birth experience. So welcome, Hannah.
Hi, how are you?
I am good and I am excited because for me too, I'm really looking forward to hearing your story. So help us set it up a little bit in preparing in pregnancy and then take us through your birth story.
Absolutely. So I was planning on a home birth for forever since before I got pregnant. And I knew before I was pregnant who I'd be working with. And I hired this home birth midwife. My care was phenomenal. And at 37 weeks, she had an emergency and needed to go on a sabbatical. And I had to completely figure everything out. I knew I did not want a hospital birth. And I had a really great backup provider, but it just wasn't where I wanted to be. So our amazing birth center here in Atlanta worked me in and put me on a fast track to get me into their program. And it was awesome. And I would never change it. I did a lot of preparation for birth. I just really wanted to trust my body and I wanted to know what birth was and what to expect. And so I did a lot of preparation. So I wasn't scared going into my birth experience. Of course, I had little nerves, but nothing really scared. And I woke up one morning and I was like, I felt this gas pain. I was like, oh, I'm having gas. And then I felt fluid in my bed and I was wondering, oh, did my water break? Turns out it was just my mucus plug. But it started out to be a very adventurous journey to meet my baby because since we weren't sure if my water broke, my midwives were wanting us to do a kick count and she was not kicking. And so, they were like, please come and check us, or please come in and we'll check you and, check things out, check on baby. She was just very sleepy. She was getting prepared for her journey. So she was just having this deep sleep. And as soon as they got me hooked up to the monitors, she was up and moving and thriving. And so they're saying, go home. And I did exactly that. And I tried to rest and I couldn't. I was way too excited. And so throughout that day, I was having some surges and some prodromal labor where the labor was coming very, very strong at times. And then it wasn't very strong at all. And so I was going out and celebrating birthdays and having friends over and playing with my kids. It was all very exciting and all very tiring. So that night, as I should have been going to bed, my surges decided to pick up rather quickly at that. And I have a family history of short births. So, by midnight or so, these surges were 2 minutes apart, lasting for about a minute and a half. And I was feeling that urge to push. So I went down to my birth center and sure enough, I was 1 centimeter dilated. So they said, Hannah, go back home, do some more rest. And that's what I did. I labored. It was beautiful. It's very calm. I had a doula, but I didn't have her there yet. My husband had just gotten off of work. So he was downstairs, he was asleep, and I was by myself. And that's exactly what I wanted. I was over a big throne of pillows and just waves of relaxation and waves of calm were just washing over me. And then as my surge was building, a wave of excitement would wash over me and I would work through that surge and then I would just melt away. And it was a really good rhythm. It was beautiful. At no point was I feeling, this is too much. I can't do this. I don't want to do this. It was all just very enjoyable. I loved it. And so as time went throughout the night, that urge to push was feeling stronger and stronger. So I told my husband, I was like, all right, it's time to go again. Put on my bathrobe. Don't even have clothes on at this point. Just put on my bathrobe, get in the car. It's a 45-minute drive down to the birth center. And I just said, you guys can check me, but please don't tell me. If it's not 10, don't tell me. So they checked me and they didn't tell me. So I was a little discouraged and they were like, well, we're not going to admit you yet. You just go labor in the shower. And so I did. And an hour later, they're like, do you feel any different? I said, no, go ahead and tell me. Oh, you're at 3 centimeters, but you're very soft and your baby is very low. So that's why you're feeling these urges to push. So I went home with some therapeutic rest and slept, and it was wonderful. And then as I was waking up, things were getting stronger and stronger, but I was in denial. Surely these aren't real surges. This is that rebound pain from that narcotic wearing off. And things were growing and growing stronger and stronger. And again, my doula is not here because I'm saying it's too early. Please don't come. And my husband is asleep. And I'm like, don't wake up until he hears me in the shower roaring and groaning and moaning. And he's like, Hannah, honey, things seem a little different. Are you good? Oh yeah, I'm good. Please, don't call the midwives or don't call the doula. We're fine. I said, just bring me an apple. So I'm in the shower and I'm eating an apple and I'm trying not to push, but I don't even realize that I'm trying not to push. Just things feel different. I'm just focusing so much on just releasing my body and just relaxing. I'm so in the moment of just release and relax, release and relax, release and relax. Let this water run over you. That I'm in complete denial. So he's calling the midwives without me knowing. And they're like, please come down. Please, we hear her pushing. Please come see us at the birth center. And sure enough, I do. Again, bathrobe on, no clothes because I just can't. And we get stuck in some traffic and things are building in intensity. And I think at this point, I'm realizing that I'm at the end of my labor. I remember thinking back, I told him as we were leaving the house, if I'm not at least at a 6, we're going to the hospital and we're getting an epidural. And as we're about halfway to the birth center, stuck in Atlanta traffic, I'm realizing this is it. We might have to pull over. We might have to make a detour. Again, I'm fine, totally calm. I'm having no fear at all. It's intense, but no fear. So we get to the birth center and they get us into the room and they check me and I'm 10 and I'm +2 station, 100% of face. Like we're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll. And they help me up. And they're like, all right, where do you want to deliver at? And of course, I'm just like, well, I don't know. I didn't think I was ready to push this baby out. So they're like, you can go sit on the toilet. You can get in the shower. You can get in the bed. You can get in the pool. And I'm like, the pool sounds good, I guess. I don't know. I had no thoughts. I just thought that I was going to labor and then find my position and push my baby out. And so I get into the pool and they're like, all right, as you want to deliver, as you want to push, just start pushing. And so I did, and my water breaks and I really start feeling that intensity and a little fear creeps in. Like, whoa, this is real. I'm about to be delivering my baby. This is very intense. This is the only time where I experienced some doubt. And my doula was there and my midwives were there and my husband was there. And they just reminded me over and over that I could do it and that just take it slowly. And that's what I did. I took it slowly because pushing was a lot emotionally for me. So I took it slowly and I just breathed her down a little bit lower each time and a little bit lower each time. And I let her head emerge as it wanted to, and as I could. And it was beautiful. I remember as I was pushing her out, her head was out, and slowly I could feel her rotate. And I was like, this is the craziest feeling in the world. I was internally giggling. I was like, this is so cool. And as the next surge built, I pushed and I grabbed her up and I brought her to my chest. And it was so special because I was the first person to ever touch her. Internally, externally, I caught my own baby, and that was just so special. And it was instant relief, just instant relief. And I was like, whoa, this is incredible. It was so awesome. I mean, I loved every moment of it.
How beautiful. And I just love your story too, because so often people don't realize, right? There's that these long periods and rest, and you think, I love how you thought you were further along, but you had such great care of midwives who knew to help you to get the rest that you needed,
Yes.
right? Too often we admit people in and don't give them that opportunity to go
Mhm.
back home and have that time. But
Mhm.
oh, I could picture and feel the whole scenario. And I also love that you said that your midwives so beautifully asked you to choose where and how you want to birth.
Oh yeah.
And for you and I as doulas, like, we know, yes, that's the way it should be. But for people listening, that might be like, wow, like, to really know that that's how it should be, that people
Yeah.
can birth in their way and their choice, in their rhythm. And
Mhm.
you said breathing, you know, your baby into the world, just so many beautiful words. So for people that are listening and going, I want one of those, like, how do I have that birth? What are some of your tips to prepare to have a positive, empowering birth?
So I say take a childbirth education class, and a really good one. Find a private childbirth education class that resonates with your desires and your feelings and your outlook on birth. So you have to know what's happening on the inside of your body for you to trust your body to make that journey positive. So understanding what's happening, so taking a childbirth education class and then erasing all of the fear from your philosophy of birth. So if you're fearful of birth because you've watched TV shows that have depicted birth in a scary way, don't watch those through your pregnancy. People love to tell us their crazy negative birth stories. If you hear somebody start telling you that, just stop. Please, only positive birth experiences, or only tell me the positive aspects of your birth. Really help me feel empowered. Surround yourself by people that have had positive birth experiences, and then get a doula. Have somebody to help support you through that, to help you navigate it. Picking a good supportive provider, all of those I think are equally important. And just work on your mindset, your mentality, and practice melting like butter throughout your pregnancy so you can do it throughout your labor.
So beautiful, such great words of wisdom. I want to thank you so, so much for joining us today, for birthing forward your wisdom, Hannah, and sharing your birth experience. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. It was such a pleasure.
Ring the bell and subscribe for more orgasmic birth content so you can positively prepare for birth and parenting. And follow us on Instagram at Orgasmic Birth. And if you'd like some extra surprises, go to orgasmicbirth.com.